they are at the 870.
I have to return this though.
No, it became the opposite. Like especially when I would make videos, like my mom really wanted my dad to make me stop like filming those videos over there. Like she's like, he's down, he's got the whole field on fire. What even is that they have? It's mounted on a car, Lamar. He's got a belt-fed machine gun. That's something you see in war movies. And my dad's just like, what am I supposed to do? He's a grown man. He's making money. What am I supposed to do? You want to stop him? You want to stop him? Go stop him. Go stop him. He's got a machine gun.
He'll turn the gun on you if you try and ruin his
technically it's a
stream.
minigun, but either way, you're fucked.
He's pretty good with that machine gun. I don't think there's anything we can do. You know, like basically told her that, like, I'm not gonna stop him. It looks fun. You know,
I get asked a lot, like, what did this person or that person think when you started doing YouTube full time? And the answer is usually like, well, they thought of it as a business. You know, the viewers thought of it as playing video games for a living. My dad thought I had started my own little YouTube business. You know, my wife thought I was earning income for the family. Like they never were, they didn't look down on it or anything.
No, as soon as you can like show like I'm making this much money, everybody is like, you have business. And nobody's like, oh, so you play in the backyard with guns. Nobody says that when you show them that you're making $100,000 a month or whatever. They're like, oh, so you have a firearms company. Exactly. like some viewer might be like, oh yeah, he's that guy that shoots pumpkins. That's kind of silly, huh? Nobody else thinks that. That's like on the other side of the camera.
Yep. Yeah.
Same thing with like making gaming videos. It's like nobody thinks, oh yeah, he plays video games for a living. Kind of a loser, huh? Actually, no. He has a corporation that that makes video game commercials. Doing really well, working from home, just a few hours a week.
It was a lot of hours for me though. Did you work a lot as FPSrussia? You worked a lot too, right?
On and off. Like there were like
hot and cold.
Fucking fireworks. Did you hear that?
Mm-mm.
Big boom outside. If we were doing like one of those projects, like a big sponsored project, like we were doing something for Call of Duty or Medal of Honor or like a Hitman or something, that was a work week. That was just a 7-day, like 10-hour a day kind of grind of like a mixture between drawing stuff up on the marker board and like coordinating like a dozen people that had to be there on time and like do stuff like, oh yeah, this guy's got to come and set up a zip line. These guys have to be there for safety. Yeah, make sure we call our cop buddy so he's there. Make sure that we've got the water truck, hooked up to the back of the tractor in case we start a big fire so we can put it out, and like just coordination of everything. And then like getting all the material there. Like you don't want to get in the middle of a field somewhere and be like, oh yeah, we don't have anything to drink. There's no water here. Or, oh yeah, we didn't bring enough magazines for the rifle or enough ammunition. It's like, we need extra of everything in case we fail at something. So those weeks were like really stressful and work filled to some extent. But there were times when I was just doing like my own pet project or whatever. Like, oh yeah, I've got this gun I want to make a video of, where it was kind of fly by the pants. And it was like, yeah, I would think up what we're going to do and I would get the targets. But other than that, it was like, if we don't get this today, we'll get it tomorrow. And if we don't get it tomorrow, we'll get it the day after. Like it's fine if we fail today. That is how Scott got hurt that time, though. It was like, I want to get this done today. Like the sun's going down. We didn't get the door explosion right. It's not right. Like because we had to like flub something with a door explosion because I was shooting a fully automatic Sega 12, like in Tarkov. And
can I interrupt? Was it a car door or refrigerator door that hurt Scott? I have my.
It was a refrigerator door, but that's not how the shoot started. So it's the last thing in the video. Because I would film like 4 segments, an intro, three targets, and usually an outro. Like that was kind of the formula that I came up with. Mm-hmm. And so like this was either the finale or meant to be sandwiched in between. But in any case, it was a house door, like an interior door that was mounted to a frame. And I think I was just blowing open a door. But I didn't have the right kind of actually, I had what's called low velocity binary compound. It's basically tannerite that explodes with lesser velocity bullets, like shotgun rounds and 22 rounds.
Red dot, maybe.
That was a completely different company that I owned, but
Okay.
but Tannerite made their own version of that stuff. It's the low velocity binary. There's a few companies that make it now. In any case, it wasn't going off with the shotgun rounds I had. And so what I organized was, when I shoot the shotgun, you shoot the target with your sniper rifle, and that'll get it to give us the desired effect, which is me shooting a door with a shotgun and the door exploding. So we'll just cheat it a little bit. And so my buddy that I get to come over with his rifle is drunk. Like, not sloppy drunk, not falling over or anything, but he's had 5 or 6 beers. He's not dangerous, but his timing is a little off. so I go
on dangerous.
So I go, boom, tick, tick, go, go, boom, and the door explodes. And I'm like, I can't edit that. Like, if it'd been a little bit of a delay, I could have like cut to the second camera and cut back or something. Like, I could have done so. I can't do anything with this. And I kind of told him, I wasn't mad at him. I was like, oh man, there's too much delay there. I don't think that's going to work. And I only had the one door, and you just exploded it. And he's like, my buddy's like, I got a refrigerator back at the house that we were going to get rid of anyway. And I'm like, perfect. We'll get the refrigerator. And so we loaded the refrigerator up and did the exact same thing again. Put the explosives in there. He got in the back of a bed of a truck on a bipod with his sniper rifle. I got the shotgun, and you can just watch the video and see what happens next. I shoot. He shoots at the exact same time, perfectly timed. You can't even tell it in the video. And that refrigerator comes all to fucking pieces, and a piece of it hits Scott right in the shin. And
how big was the piece? Could you do it with your hands? Like,
it was this long bendy piece. Like, it looked like framing, like you ever take the screen out of a window, that frame it has around.
Sure.
Very similar to that. It was like a thin sheet metal that was kind of like an L all the way down, and but that was like contorted and bent into this like weird triangle type thing that was tumbling across the ground. And that hit him right in the shin. And it was like 4 stitches, about a 1-inch long cut that was very deep, not to the bone exactly, but you could stick your pinky into it for sure. Like, maybe.
How much was
deep.
it? The medical costs?
Like $1,200, $1,300. Yeah, something like that. $1,200 or $1,300. And that was the deal. I was like, hey, Scott, here's the deal. I'll give you $500 cash right fucking now, and we'll sew your leg up. Or we can go to the ER, whatever it costs, I'll pay for. Take me to the fucking hospital! Take me to the fucking hospital! I'm like, all right. We're going in just a minute. I gotta finish the outro first. We're losing sunlight, and I want to get this uploaded tonight.
Yeah, I'm losing blood, all right?
Please hurry with the outro.
He literally has someone else's t-shirt duct taped to his shin, and I'm like, I gotta hit the outro now. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, Jeremy, come on, get the camera, come over here. All right, point at me. All right, waist to top of head, zoom in that far. All right, you got me. Edges out here. I like move my arms to like idiot-proof fucking holding a camera. I'm like support. All right, this arm here, elbow on that head. All right, you good? Balance it off. Legs wide. You good? All right. Well, my friends, as you can see, that was a little dangerous. Did
you see, my friends? It's very flat and I have to go.
Pretty much. It's like I really wrap it up quickly. And I'm like, and to the hospital we go. And that's exactly
what's
what
funny
happened.
is like obviously your videos are all over the place. Like everybody knows, like the almost dying meme and everything. I was watching, and you'd mentioned this to me. I'd never watched those compilations of those dancing African guys with the coffin on their shoulder. And I was watching one of those, and it was like the second clip in like a 25 million view video. And I was like, oh, there's Kyle. And you drop the little mortar or whatever. It just goes, it just lands there. But like the split frame before it ends, they start doing their dance, and it's very funny. It's a very funny meme. You would think it would get staler as the video goes on. It just gets funnier as the video
goes on. It's always funny. I love that meme, the dancing coffin meme. Yeah, that was a perfect example of me turning a bullshit day into like an 8 million view video or something like that, because like we got there and what there was very underwhelming, because I was told we're going to get to play with mortars. And when I hear that, we're in Vietnam shooting fucking mortars over there, blowing up huts, right? Like, and I get there, and what we have is a launcher that will launch heavy chunks of iron shaped like mortars. You know, it's just it's a mortar, but there's no explosive in it. It's just a solid chunk of steel, and you drop it in, and it does the mortar thing. It launches it, but it's really like cornhole for assholes. You know, it's you dial the thing in, you try to hit a big ring out there. When it hits the ground, it's incredibly underwhelming. It goes thunk. It's just a heavy piece of metal hitting dirt out in the field somewhere. And I was like, how do we make this interesting? And it failed. And I was like, done. That's 10 million views right there. I mean, you know, $20,000 for like what should have been just a throwaway of a day.
Yeah.
That was a good one, because I was so glad it failed. When it failed, I walked away and I was like, we're done. We're done. There's no reason to keep going. Like, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We got a funny fucking, I watched it back and like, I'm laughing my ass off, and it looks hyper dangerous because
I just watched the clip. Nobody can tell that it's fake.
It's not fake. You just can't tell that it's not going to explode.
Not explode.
Yeah. It's a real mortar launcher. It's a real mortar. It just doesn't have any explosive in it. Yeah, there was a couple days like that where it's like, well, we have gotten here and what was promised is not here. We are going to have to make some shit up and bullshit and like make this entertaining our own way, because anybody else who tries to like touch this, it's going to be the blandest bullshit 10,000 view video they've ever made. But like, we're going to make a thing out of this one way or another. And then sometimes I got there, filmed it, and then I got home and I'm like, we're not using that. We're not using that. There's a lot of stuff that I was just like, and like some people get mad sometimes. And they're like, hey, what happened? You were supposed to make the video of our blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it looks like shit. I'm not uploading that. It looks like shit. Like you were supposed to have this, that, and the other there. None of that was there. Nobody wants to see me shoot steel and a pumpkin with your slightly different version of an AR-15.
Right. Like, yet another 223.
Yeah, put me in a helicopter, dude. Like put me in a helicopter or give me something to work with. But nobody wants to see like some bland ass shit all over again. It's got to be interesting, or nobody cares.
It had to keep escalating, and you kept escalating for years, which was pretty cool. Like I remember one time you made one of your favorite early videos from me. You blew up an Xbox. I think you shot it, and then you maybe shot it with like akimbo and then a shotgun, and then you blew it up and eventually maybe lit it on fire with whatever was left. I forget.
Yep.
But
that's accurate.
Compared to the productions you put on later, that was actually kind of just a backyard, not a big deal. People thought you used fake guns a lot. So you went and you shot into water. And I hadn't even seen the effect where you shoot into water and it makes all the splashes. And I was jelly because it was like, that is a popular video. And
yeah, like 1.8 million views shooting into a pond with a $300 Wasser 10 AK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a $300 rifle and $30 worth of ammo, like $3,500 profit.
It's pretty solid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. The goal was always to escalate and like bigger and scarier and like, it's like, oh, we really need to blow the fucking shit out of this car, because last week we blew the fuck ton of shit out of a car. This week we got to blow a metric fuck ton of shit out of a car. You know, it's always got to be bigger
and you learned
and more
lot.
Dangerous.
Also, it could just be better on camera. You're like, you know what? This is how you make a big explosive effect, but you throw some diesel in there and you get a lot of smoke to go with it, and that's an interesting fire and smoke, which, you know, like if it's just tannerite, things explode and fly around, which is cool. But the next video, things explode, fly around along with fire and smoke, like a black, thick smoke. And you got just more talented at the cinematic effect. Yeah,
the pyrotechnic part of it. I remember Freddie W. like PM'd me this video one time. He's like, yeah, this is what we're working on. And he had like this, they had made this pyrotechnic where they had like a small charge, like blowing up a small amount of gasoline and making this fireball. And I was just sitting there like, oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know how to do that. And then just going to the drawing board and being like, how do I do that? Mm-hmm. And so Oklahoma City bombing, did a little research there, and we figured it out. You know,
Ted Kaczynski's still alive. You sent him a message, right?
Yeah. I wrote Ted some letters. He had a lot of thoughts. None of that's true, except for the Freddie W part. But I was just like, how do I make?
Well, I like your ideas, but I think we're going to go ahead and still do it in a big empty field. That's great. Love it. And that could be next week. Next week we could do it at the Pentagon the way you think
because I had never really blown stuff up like that growing up. Like we would make like small pipe bombs, and we would make what are they called? What are those little things you hold that go make the sparkler bombs? Yeah, we make sparkler bombs. I'm not going to go into details, but you can make bombs out of sparklers very easily.
You can make them out of like Instant Pots, pressure cookers.
Don't say that.
That's what
I'm being vague, and you're talking about the Boston bombing.
Instapot, recommended by 2 out of 2 Boston bombers.
Well, the one remaining Boston bomber, I recommend it. The other one didn't make it.
What happened to the other? Was it the police or the bombing?
It was his brother running him over during the getaway. The police had shot him a little bit, and then the brother crushed him with the car. I saw that. Maybe live. I saw that. Like we were all over that shit. Yeah.
I've never seen your clip, but you get what you deserve.
Yeah, absolutely. Always. But yeah, figuring out how to make fireballs, I thought was like a big leap forward for the stuff we were doing. Cause like shit, they look fucking cool. There's one video that has, it's probably like really high for like favorites. If the ratio of favorites to views is probably top 10 YouTube ever. Like it's not the most viewed video ever. It's probably got 15 million views or something like that. It's not the most favorited video ever, but I think it's got like 3 million favorites or something. Like 1/5 of the people that watched this video favorited it because I said, hey, what I'm about to do here is expensive. We're about to shoot, I don't remember how much it was, $500 worth of explosives. I'm about to shoot $600 worth of explosives down there in that valley. I want to keep doing stuff like this. I'm not asking you to pay for my explosives, but favorite the video because that helps me pay for explosives. And then I immediately turn and fire, and it's a fucking mushroom cloud I make down in the valley because it really was like a ton of not a ton, but a lot of explosives and 10 gallons, 5 gallons of diesel, 5 gallons of gasoline. So you get the mixture of dark orange and bright yellow fire with like,
that's cool.
That's the time that me and Jeremy were making the explosive charge. And he was like, what would happen if this went off right now? And I'm like, you'd never fucking know it. You'd never fucking know it, dude. This is 25 pounds of high velocity, or low velocity. This is the equivalent of like 200 pounds of tannerite that we're sandwiching making an Oreo of with 2 5-gallon gasoline containers. Like, and then we're duct taping the fuck out of it, like till it's like a solid mass. I don't think like one roll of duct tape. I think 8 rolls of the most expensive duct tape you can buy. Until it's just
expensive duct tape you can find.
Gorilla tape stuff that you can barely tear. You have to use a knife to like cut it when you want to tear it. Like that, it made a crater. It made a crater down in the valley. That was nuts.
You should have just lied to him and been like, if it goes off, you just gotta get running. You just got. Have you ever seen a movie? You gotta keep the flames behind you, and then you will be safe.
Yeah, like I always knew like exactly what the danger factor was, and it was just like I was like, look, we're making money here. Like this is what we're doing for a living. If I die, I die, but we're gonna do it. It's gonna get done. All right, I'm not gonna pussy out. There's no way I go home without doing this today. So might as well just push all that out of your head. Like, don't be afraid of it. And that's just what I do. I just put myself in a mindset where like this is happening. It's like if you're getting a shot at the doctor. There's no reason to be like fucking scared. Like it's happening. There's no way you're leaving here without this shot. It's happening. So why like even bother worrying about it or like giving a shit about it? It's like being afraid of your ultimate death that we're all going to face sometime. There's no reason to be thinking about that. Just fucking live your life. And that's what we do on a shoot. But it became quickly apparent to me that like Jeremy had no clue ever how much danger he was actually in. Like I would know. I do some calculation. We do those. Sometimes we're like, hey, for $100,000, would you do this or that? And like, we'd all do some ridiculous shit, right? For $100,000. Sometimes that's what I was getting paid to make a video. So it's like, Yeah, of course. I have no issue standing in front of this fucking car that's about to explode. I'm getting paid $85,000 today.
Yeah.
Jeremy's getting paid minimum wage. And he's right there, beside me, like with no clue how dangerous this is. When he's holding that target in his hand, that explosive target that I shoot out of his hands. I was showing that to Dad the other day. He's like, what if it had driven the stake through his body? I'm like, yeah, I know, right?
Well, that was a distinct possibility, but I was willing to take that risk on behalf of Jeremy.
I remember literally thinking that, like I know what explosives do to some extent. Like I have a good mind for like, okay, if we put the explosive here, that door is going to blow off. Or if we put it right here, it's going to blow a chunk out of this tree. But I had no idea what happens when a man holds a stake with an explosive charge at the end of it and I shoot it out of his hands. I had no fucking clue. But I just told him to do it and he went out there and did it. And like I was paying him in like Red Bull and cigarettes at the time.
So it was a great deal for you.
An amazing
deal. This video, I am running low on Red Bull and cigarette for my slave.
I saved so much money over the years by employing people like Scott and Jeremy. I paid Scott well, but Jeremy got minimum wage most of the time and cigarettes and Red Bull. That was the deal. Like he would go on a cross-country trip broke. He would show up to go to Texas and have $20 in his pocket, and we're gone for a week. Like he knows going in, Kyle's paying for everything. Kyle's got my food, Kyle's got my cigarettes, my Red Bull, anything I need, Kyle's got. And I had no problem with that because he's the guy that holds explosives while you shoot them out of his hands. Like no one else is going to do that for any amount of money because they're not retarded.
He should have really asked for more.
I'd have found somebody else. There's plenty of dummies in that neck of the woods that would have done that shit. Like there was a bunch of dudes that like thought that shit was cool and were watching on YouTube, and they would have like not just like random people, like people that were in like my sort of circle of like friends and associates. Like there was a lot of people who were always like, hey, I could come with you on one of those trips, man. You don't have to pay me anything. I just want to go. And be like, yeah, man, there's really not enough room in the truck, but if Jeremy or Scott can't come, you're in.
If one of them dies, you're on the bench.
That's what I was thinking in my head. Like I always thought that there was like a 10% chance that one of these days Jeremy doesn't make it.
That's such a high percent to die.
And like this isn't like that time where we asked Wings what he thought his odds of surviving our survival trip was, and he was like 50-50. It's like 50-50 I'd die on the survival trip. And I'm like, do you know what 50-50 means? That's a coin flip. That's a paper, rock, scissors. 1 in 100 times maybe you die. Maybe probably 1 in 10,000. Right. You know? Like even for someone with his health conditions, like we're just going off in the woods a little, but there was a 10% chance that Jeremy wouldn't survive all that. There's the tank destroyer video where we just mocked up a cube of plywood and 2x4s and suspended 25 pounds of explosives in the middle of it, basically making a bomb. And when you shoot it, it sends plywood and 2x4s out in a bubble, in a sphere of influence, if you will. And I shot it not with a gun, but with a tank destroyer. The bullet is as big. It's like a log that you would put in your fireplace. It's bigger than that.
Wow.
You would if that bullet were a log, you'd be like, it's a little long. I don't know. We need to cut it in half before we throw it on the fire. We shot it with that, and I remember I'm in the tank, of course. He's sitting on top of the tank with his legs down by my shoulders so that he can pan to me and then pan to the target. And I remember looking up at him to like make sure he didn't shake or anything, and just seeing shit flying over his head like a cloud of shrapnel. There was a bunch of shit like that. Jeremy didn't give a fuck though, or he didn't know any better. Either way, it worked out.
He's either very brave or very stupid.
That's why I tolerated him like stealing stuff from me over the years and like being like lazy and stuff. Yeah, it's like, oh, he stole my $200 glasses that I didn't want to, that were goofy looking anyway, that some company gave me for free. Enjoy. You're the guy who sits on top of tanks.
You mentioned Wings in the survival